Complicated.
You can always call in on the phone and they got video there. I can
Okay. Back to roll call for Katie McMillan.
She
Here.
said she could hear now.
Oh. And then for the motion for
the agenda.
approving the agenda, yeah.
Yep, we had a motion by Lyle Smith, a second by Darren Duffloff, and everybody voted in favor of.
And then could you ask the question to Katie?
Oh, Counselor Katie McMillan?
Aye.
Thank you.
Perfect. This time, Dave, the city manager's report.
Excuse me. Thank you, Mayor. So just some announcements here for tonight. You should have received an email forwarded regarding the League of Oregon Cities training coming up at the end of this month. It's a excuse me, let me give you the exact phraseology of it. It's Municipal Fundamentals Training. It's in Boardman at the Port of Morrow. It is on, like I said, on Tuesday, August the 26th. It's from 8:30 to 12:30. Some of you have already responded and confirmed we'll get you registered for that if you're able to attend. If you're not, it's okay. There'll be more training opportunities throughout the year. Plus, they also have an online version that's available as well. And so they have some really great opportunities, really great topics there. They talk about home rule, public meetings, lobbying, 201, so a higher level or a follow-up on the training they had earlier in the year, and then general land use 101, particularly surrounding the basics of land use in Oregon. We have a very unique land use law in Oregon, and so it's if you haven't had a chance to go through that yet, strongly encourage you to do that. We also have, just in case you didn't know, also coming up at the beginning of October is the League of Oregon Cities annual training and annual meeting as well. And so if you're not able to get to this in August, 5 weeks later, you'll have an opportunity. That is on a weekend. It's a Friday, Saturday training. And so there'll be another opportunity there. If weekdays are a little bit more difficult, you'd be able to attend on the weekend if you'd like. So just wanted to put that on your radar. And if that's something you're interested in, take a look at your email. You can respond to either myself or Nancy, and we'll get you registered for that. Any questions on that training? Okay. I wanted to take a moment to introduce you to we have a new Brandon. His name is Zach. He's our new community development director. He's here at the end of the table. I'll give him an opportunity to kind of introduce himself and get a microphone and say hello.
Hey.
Hi, Brandon.
I'm sure.
Yeah, he's
There
gonna
we
go.
go.
Yeah.
I think I'm in there, at least on the record, hopefully. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, Zach Ratkai, new community development director. You can call me Brandon for a little bit here. I'll answer to that, but really excited to be here. Working with such a great community, a great team, and just a lot of the opportunities that are happening down here in Umatilla. So it's fantastic to be here, and I look forward to getting to know each and every one of you. I'm come from the Tri-Cities where I worked previously for cities of Richland and Pasco, and just glad to take some of that experience down here where things are happening. So appreciate your time and looking forward to it.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So would that be like Brandon 2.0? That's what it'd be.
Yeah,
Zach.
I mean, we love Brandon, but
Sounds good.
this is an upgrade. All right. So it does.
I'm gonna live up to that.
Oh,
So I would tell him that if he was sitting right there.
okay.
Zach's a little is being modest, and I appreciate that very much. We did a national search. We contracted with GMP Consulting, who helped us with our search for our police chief and several other positions in the city. It was a highly competitive position. We had a lot of applicants, and then we had a strong finalist pool. And so Zach deserves to be here on staff. Thank you for his congratulations. We're very excited to have him here. And the list of work is already way taller than his office is. So we just got a lot of stuff to do. So we're very excited to we're back to full team. So we're happy about that. Wanted to provide you a couple updates on some of our very high level quick updates on some of our construction projects. We'll first start here right next door with the business center. Project's moving along on schedule. You can recall originally when we went out to bid, the anticipation was that the project would be completed in February of next year. Happy to report that that's on target to be looking to be completed towards the end of this calendar year. So we're hoping to move our community development staff and park staff into that facility. And you'll start seeing here within the next 60 days or so solicitations for those to participate in our business incubator program and looking for anchor tenants for that facility as well. So you'll kind of see an eye on that. So pretty excited to have that. And then our meeting today too, when we have our trick or treat here on 6th Street, we'll have space available, not full space, but the pedestrian pathways will not be blocked or anything like that. They'll be far enough into the construction of that we'll have space for that. So pretty excited on what's happening with that. We'll provide you a little bit more detailed analysis next month as we start to continue to finish up a lot of the molding and scaffolding and everything else going on the outside of the building there. So we'll get that set up for you. Any general questions on the business center? Just wanted to give you just a very quick timeline on that. Okay. Wanted to take an opportunity just to thank the community for the resilience and continuing to provide very good feedback, meaningful public comment. And in this case, in particular, to the crosswalk on 6th Street that could take across the Highway 730 to the grocery store. After more than a year and after several different bits of public comment, ODOT has finally agreed to put in a crosswalk there, an illuminated crossing. So we'll have it striped at first, and we'll get that going up. So we anticipate the goal is to have that in there before school starts. That's the goal, but they said it could be as late as the end of September. So that's what we're working on. But any improvement in there is going to be a great improvement and much awaited on. So the public comment and working with staff, work through it, that's was enough to finally get to what we needed to get to there. So we're really excited about that. So thank you everybody for that. The pedestrian bridge project is now officially done. So we've done soft opening and then close and a soft opening and close as we've worked on stuff in between. It is now completed, completely completed. Contractors are on their way out with all their equipment, everything else by the end of the week. But everything's done there. And so wanted to kind of make that announcement here. And then we were hoping to do some kind of celebration of that, some kind of official opening, ribbon cutting, and so on. And so I don't need the information here, but if you could send over a couple of different options towards like the end of this month or into September of 2 or 3 either afternoons or evenings that you might be available, or better yet, we can send you some options and you can say, this is what we have, and we'll have as many as possible. We'd like to celebrate that after the 2019 and 2000 and followed by the 2020 floods that took it out completely. It's taken a long time, 5 years in the making, 6 years in the making to have that bridge come back. So we're really excited about that project. And then perhaps last on there, so Madison Street, that's the street that takes you to the new intermediate school. Project continues to move there rapidly. Last week, we discovered a very shallow sub-main that is in operations out there. We have in case you didn't know, so Dwayne, our water lead, has worked at the city for more than 25 years. Nobody knew that line was there. It's made of galvanized steel, and it was only 9 inches deep. How that did not break with all the freezing and heat and everything that we have year over year is unbelievable. But it's thrown a total wrench into the works and delayed. So it's a 33-day delay on that project because more than half of the street is connected to this sub-main that nobody even knew existed.
Wow.
Didn't come up with engineering work, didn't come up with pre-work surveying work, didn't come up with anything until we got to this point in the
So it's
project.
got to be from the 50s or so.
It's estimated to be at least from the 60s, and so
Yeah.
it's a 40 to 50-year-old pipe.
Wow.
So Dave, 33-day delay, what's the actual calendar date that would place on? About a month back, but when was our projected finish date?
So the updated completion on Madison Street, not the whole project, but on Madison Street is now October 8th is the new estimated date to be completely out of Madison Street now.
What about the final project?
Final project is always about 5 weeks after that. I'm not sure if we've got an updated date on that, but it'll be close to Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Dave.
All right. That's what I have for general updates and announcements. Move on to the library report.
I think before we get to the library, I'm going to give an audit update. So
for as long as I have been here, so for at least 13 years, and quite a ways back before that, Barnett and Morrow has done our municipal audit. The city received, I'll call it late notice. They didn't even have the courtesy to send an email, but we found a general one-page letter that had gone unopened from the spring that was a notice that they are not able to perform our audit this year due to staffing changes and resource limitations at Barnett and Morrow. I opened the letter about a week and a half ago, and then since our fiscal year has already ended and most people are already scheduling field work, went ahead and started to look into other possibilities for audit firms for this year. We were able to contact, and I did put in the council packet for you there, a proposal from Singer Luack. They are a firm who does over 70 municipal audits a year out of the Salem area. Included in that proposal, there are some references of other cities. They also do perform Morrow County's audit. And they are willing to do our audit for us. Due to the substantial costs to set up the first year of audit, they've asked us to agree to a minimum of a 2-year engagement. So that's the proposal that you'll see. They also agreed to match the fee that Barnett and Morrow was charging. And so we are within our budget, the exact amount that we budgeted this year for $45,000. And that does include the single audit required for our federal expenditures. The one caveat is their calendar was pretty full as well. They're hoping to be able to make it out a week in September, but most of the field work will be completed in November. So there's a high likelihood that we'll file a 30-day extension with the Secretary of State. They do not anticipate any issues with that. It's not anything that we've done before, and this is a situation that's out of our control. And so unless council has any concerns, this procurement does fall within our purchasing policy standards. We are authorized to proceed forward, and we intend to do so.
So we have a 2-year contract with them now. What does the future price look like past 2 years?
So we can choose if we want to extend for subsequent years at a 5% increase with them if we're happy. Typically every 5 years, about every 5 years to 7, we would go out for RFP anyway. If for some reason we aren't happy with what we're getting in the first 2 years, then we could go out to bid again at that point.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it isn't like we can say, we don't need it.
No, we definitely need one. And I mean, we've been, like I said, we've been happy with Barnett and Morrow. They have had a lot of turnover in the last few years, and this could be a really good opportunity to work with a new firm and get some fresh eyes and just see if there's anything that we can be doing differently or better.
I like it.
Perfect. Thank you, Melissa.
And then I am also going to address the semi-annual library report. Susie is not able to be with us tonight. She has started her maternity leave. She's expecting, so we're excited for her, and she will be out for the next couple of months. She did prepare for you as her semi-annual report that covers the period from January to June. It does have some background on library staff and then really just focusing on the programming and attendance they've had over the past 6 months. Some highlights: in February, they did Blind Date with a Book and also a graphic novel book club. In March, they had a spring break program. Going into April, a mother's support group. In May, they had a pajama story time, and then June kicked off the start of their summer reading. Another thing the library staff really enjoy being involved with is Umatilla Landing Days. They were responsible for organizing and running the whole kids area that you saw, arranging for the rides and the carnival. There are circulation numbers in the report for you. Another thing that has been great is just training opportunities. So Jen was able to attend the OLA, Oregon Library Association conference, and there is a brief write-up in there just about everything that she was able to learn. She's focusing a lot on children's services, and so she took courses specifically related to those program offerings. We did have a highlight for Ariana. She celebrated her 5-year anniversary with us, and through the budget process, council approved for the conversion of her position from part-time to full-time, so she is now full-time with us. And then one of the most exciting things that we've done recently over in the library is updating the website. If you have not had a chance to take a look at it yet, I encourage you to do so. It's at www.umatilla.publiclibrary.org. It's really user-friendly. There's some great resources, digital resources, calendar. You can sign up for events, whether they're free events or pay to participate, just so you can get registered. If you guys have any questions about how to use any of those resources, please reach out to our library staff. They're happy to help get you all set up. And if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Council, any questions at this time?
No.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And congratulations to Susie. So we're
And
very
they did a
excited.
great job at Landing Days.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the Kids Zone was really good. They did a phenomenal job.
It was busy all day.
Yes, it was great.
Moving on now to our public comment. Bridge, do you have anyone for public comment, the first section go around? This time while we're getting the public comment, I'm going to read off the script here. Public comment segment allows community members to share their opinions, raise concerns, and provide information directly to the city council. Comments should be addressed to city-related issues and must not pertain to items scheduled for a public hearing on the same evening's agenda. If you wish to speak, please complete the sign-up form, including the topic you wish to address. Please begin by stating your name, address, or name and address when called to the podium. Speakers are allotted 5 minutes unless otherwise directed. Please note, comments criticizing city programs and operations are permitted during this segment. However, the criticism of individual city employees is not allowed during public comment period. Concerns regarding city employees should be submitted in writing to the city's human resource manager for proper review. Thank you for your cooperation. First up this evening, we have John Baxter. Mr. Baxter, can you please state your name and address? Thank you, sir.
I'm just gonna wing it.
John, if I could also have you closer to the microphone, please. I'm so sorry. Thank you.
Actually, use microphone. But I had some concerns that I wanted to bring up. And some of the things I'm about to say probably aren't very popular. I'm going to try to be as tactful as I possibly can. Now, how this whole process went this time with Rock the Locks. This is my wife, Charlotte. Love this woman. I'd do anything for this woman. So, that being said, some stuff just started not adding up for me. Like, the format was changed, and I was told it was to maximize profit. As far as the format, you had to submit a bid, and it was to maximize profit and get more bids. So, I mean, if it was, the point was to maximize profit, why not just say, we want 35%, take it or leave it? Another change was winner gets all, 1 bar up there. I talked to Dave and went in to just ask some questions. And I asked some questions and I got some answers, and that just left me with more questions. Now, as far as one winner take all, I asked why that was done. And I was told at that time, and he can correct me if I'm wrong because we had a conversation. I was told at that time it was because people were complaining about prices being this price at this bar, prices being this price at this bar had these drinks, this bar had these drinks, and they wanted, say, a more, consistency. That's what I was told. Last time I checked, a drinker wouldn't care if there's more options. I mean, that's just me. Yeah, but that's what I was told. So like I said, I had more questions, and I just had more questions after that. It's just not making sense to me. It's not making sense at all. Unless there was, say, a reason you wanted one bar to have it. That calls for speculation, objection, calls for speculation, and I do understand that. But I'm a conspiracy theorist. All right, I see conspiracy everywhere. And I have not been treated very nice by the city of Umatilla. We could go into it, but it it's not going to make any difference. Me and my wife feel like the unwanted stepchildren in this town. Okay. The second day after we opened, we got shut down. The second day we got opened. The state inspector was John at the time. I'm not disparaging him. I'm just telling you what happened. The second day we were open, John, the inspector, comes in, tells the manager everybody's got to leave the building. She's like, well, why is that? You didn't have your final building inspection. He did it. You didn't have your final electrical inspection. He did it. You didn't have your final fire suppression system inspected. He was there with the tech. He did it. You don't have a business license. It was hanging on the freaking wall. So later on, I find out through someone who used to be on the city council, it again, can't prove it. Someone wanted my building. Someone wanted her building. But they didn't want it. It was all dilapidated. And it was done in an official manner. There was nothing posted. And like, this needs to be done, this needs to be done, this needs to be done before it can be occupied again. So to make a long story short, we got open the next day, but only when I came down here and raised a little bit of hell. 3 years after the fact, it's not over yet. The new state inspector comes in, threatens to shut us down. Same thing. Didn't do your final building, didn't do your final electrical. Same thing. 3 years later. Don't know why. All I got to say is when you have bids coming in and they're not sealed bids, like for a big contract or something, and you have bids coming in, there's a specter of impropriety, whether it's there or not. There is a specter of impropriety. I don't believe everything I'm told. Well, this is this and this is this. I don't. If there's a seal, why wasn't it a sealed bid? I was told it just goes into a folder. In the future, maybe we can have sealed bids because there's too much, like I said, a specter of impropriety is just as bad. It should be set up so there could be no ifs, ands, or buts, that everything was handled properly.
Mr. Baxter, that's unfortunately is your time. Thank you very much for speaking this evening. We appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, Nancy. At this time, we have Josiah Barron.
Josiah Barron, 100 Klein Avenue, Executive Director for Umatilla Chamber of Commerce. Just a few upcoming events for this month of some of our members. If you haven't been out to Indian Lake Campground out there on the reservation, it's very nice out there, the lake out there just outside of Pilot Rock. So they've got their second annual sit and paint event there at Indian Lake. And that is this coming Saturday, August 9th. So that will be 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. It is a registration, but you can check out, I have all the details on the Umatilla Chamber events calendar if anybody's interested in that. And also coming up, for those of you that may not have your concealed carry permit yet, or you know somebody who's looking to get one, Arms to Bear security specialists, Kevin's having another class coming up here on Saturday, August 16th at the Umatilla Chamber office. So at 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And it's the multi-state concealed carry one, recognized in 41 states, I believe. And then also at Stepping Stones Alliance, they're hosting a screening of the No Address movie at the Hermiston Cinema on August 20th at 7 p.m. So it's free admission, but of course, donations are accepted to Stepping Stones and the Sleep Center and everything that they're doing up there. But if you hadn't seen the No Address movie, it's based on true stories of people who have experienced homelessness for various different reasons. And then also, Two Rivers Correctional Institution, they're having another one of their meet and greets on Wednesday, I don't know why I keep saying, want to say October, August 27th from 3 to 6 p.m. there at TRCI at the administration building. You can look into if you know somebody who's looking for a new job and looking for starting a new career, then go check it out on August 27th. You can talk to the recruiter there and learn all about it. And then also just wanted to give, actually, that's right, I remembered speaking of the new school, the August 28th, save your date for August 28th, the CTE open house and ribbon cutting at the new high school career and technical education building will be August 28th from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. And then also the new school, Columbia Vista Intermediate, will be ribbon cutting and open house will be following that from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. there at the new school. So there's a lot of fun things that are going to be planned for that, I've heard. So you won't want to miss that grand christening of the new school. And the last thing I wanted to mention, just some quick shout outs to, we just got 3 new chamber members within the last couple weeks. Clayton Holmes of Hermiston. They're on Highway 395. They're the ones that took over from Marlette. They're the sales end of the arm there. And then also, you may have noticed up there at Buck's Corner, those custom made sheds going in there. We've got a new business owner. I got to meet with him, Anthony Villegas. He's a Hermiston High School grad and ready to start a business in the community. He walked into the chamber office and said, "How do I get registered for the chamber?" But be on the lookout. He'll be having a ribbon cutting and grand opening coming up September. That one I didn't have written down. September 6th, I believe, but be on the lookout for it. I'll have information coming out for that to get that date confirmed. But that will be coming up, and he'll be selling. He has a partnership with Old Hickory Sheds, custom sheds in LeGrand, and so you'll be able to get those quality made sheds there. And then also, if you've got somebody with driver's ed, also our other member, Mid-Columbia Auto Academy. But you can all find all of our information on our calendar. Thanks, Nancy.
Thanks, Josiah.
Sorry, I'm
Josiah,
sorry.
what was the date
You
on
gotta
that
speak up,
movie?
Nancy.
On no address?
August 20th? No address.
Next up, we've got Kip Barron. Kip, do you mind if I read your topic for this evening? It's a great one. Yeah, that's a great one. I really appreciate that topic. That's a good one. Did something bubble up? Well, come on up, Kip.
Thank you very much, everybody. Kip Barron, 457 Stevens Avenue. Appreciate all your time and energy away from family things, whether you're paid to do it or not. And especially the city staff. They got a lot to do, especially when Dave's at the helm. That guy's a workaholic. I'm telling you what. Well, I just wanted to put in another plug. It's been a little while since I gave a plug for public trust. So remember, the way you get things done is through communication and public trust. We just had a good example of that with the Barton and Morrow. They didn't have a courtesy email about something. So that everybody's just, even though we have greater information and easier to communicate with one another, So we just get busier like on the George Jetson treadmill, that everybody is taking time to answer their emails, connect with people where need, and keep that public trust going so it makes your job easier and we can have friendly meetings. That's it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kip.
Thank you.
Okay, next up, we have the consent agenda. Is there any questions on the consent agenda as it currently stands for items 7.1 and 7.2, the minutes for July 15th and July 22nd? There's no questions on those minutes. We're looking for a motion to pass the entire consent agenda.
We had a minor typo that was addressed and has been fixed.
Before it made it to the packet or after?
Pardon?
Before it made it to the packet or after? Did you already change it
After impact.
after the packet? Do we need to make an update noted? Are we good? Perfect. Sounds good. Okay, looking for a motion to pass as it currently stands.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we pass consent agenda item 7.1, 7.2 as presented in the agenda.
Thank you. Can we get a second on the motion?
I'll second it.
Thank you first and seconding. Can we get a roll call?
Counselor Funderburk. Aye. Counselor Duffloff.
Aye.
Counselor Katie McMillan.
Aye.
Counselor Smith.
Aye.
Counselor Dennis McMillan.
Aye.
Counselor McLean.
Aye.
Okay, thank you very much. Motion carries. Moving on now to our first new business item. We have the appeal of RFP for alcohol vendor for Rock the Locks.
Mr.
Dave?
Mayor, I would like to declare a conflict of interest directly. My family is involved with the bidding process.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
I will excuse myself now.
Thank you. Dave, you have the floor. Is this going over to Esmeralda?
I'll take here. Esmeralda can fill in gaps if we need to.
Okay.
I also just real briefly, just a quick announcement. I appreciate some of you have sent us messages. Zoom is working, but our live stream is cutting in and out, and even others there. So apologize for that. For your information, this is all being recorded. The Zoom still works. We'll be able to upload the recording later on, but right now the live stream is not available, and we're trying to work through that. So I just want to make a quick announcement. Apologize
Thank you.
for that inconvenience. All right, so first I wanted to recognize John and Charlotte. Charlotte are here, and what we'll do here, I'll provide the information, the background on this item from staff information and perspective, and then Charlotte, you'll have an opportunity to provide any information you'd like to share from there, and then staff and the Baxters are available for any questions that you might have as well, if that works for you, council. So Rock the Locks continues to move forward and grow, and alcohol sales is a critical part of the event. How we've gone about providing that service each year has been modified from year to year, and this year was a slight modification as well. So in 2023, the very first year of the event, it was through discussions and work preparing for that event. It was clear that the making sure that it was to benefit as many Umatilla businesses as possible was the priority, and so we just solicited anybody who had an OLCC license on file that was a business in the city of Umatilla and reached out to those businesses. And so at that time, that was the Bridge, Old Nick's, Russ's Place at that time. And so so the first year we had the Bridge and Old Nick's participated in that, and did the work. On that, we did exactly, that was there. We just said this was going to be, I believe it was an 80-20 split that first year of those sales, inverse of each other. So we get a sponsorship from Columbia Distribution, Pepsi Bottling Company. And so they don't provide cash, they provide in-kind donations. And so all your non-alcoholic beverages are donated. That's their contribution, and then we sell those, and then the funds from that are profit and revenue sharing. So the way that it worked that first year was there was a percentage split on alcohol sales, and then it was the inverse on the soft drinks. Okay, 2024 we modified it and went a little bit more formal. We still wanted to make sure that we were created a Umatilla business preference. We worked with Tonkintorp, our attorney. They updated and drafted our RFP for that year and created a location preference. So typically you'll see things like that on bigger contracts at like the state level where Oregon businesses are going to get some sort of preferential treatment versus Idaho or California or Washington. And so we had something similar for that where we provided bonuses to local businesses. Again, in 2024, we had just 2 businesses a bid on that, The Bridge and Old Nick's. And what we did there with those percentages that we had, we provided the 2 bars for both businesses, one for primary location, one for secondary location, and we hired both. So 2025, as we learned from the event from 24, a couple things came up in 2024, and Mr. Baxter mentioned some of it. Some of it had to do with some of the logistics of the event, but yeah, Mayor.
Whose call was it to modify it from multiple to one vendor?
Well, that's what I'm getting at, but it's,
Okay.
I mean, it's staff decision. We worked through it through the process, and ultimately that's my decision that's made, and I can talk about that in a minute. I'm almost there.
Okay.
You bet. We had some issues in 2024. One of it had to do with just general, we had some complaints from festival goers about confusion about which bar provided what. We also got complaints from both bars saying that I didn't realize that we could pour. I thought we weren't allowed to sell draft beer. The other bar selling draft beer. How did that happen? That sort of thing. So at the last minute, we even made an adjustment to the bars on what the revenue sharing percentage would be. Because in year 1, the rule was canned beverages only, because we have a partnership again with Columbia Bottling, and it was Coors beverages only, had to be in cans, that sort of thing. White Claw, Coors, whatever. That changed from 23 to 24, and there was no difference in that solicitation. We didn't differentiate that you couldn't pour. So there was some confusion that occurred there, and so we made the adjustments from that. And so we allowed, but it was too late for one to make the adjustment. So one could pour, one could not, and it was an issue. And so we had issues with the percentages that those bars were receiving. They were not the same. So that was issue number 1. The other issue that came up is as we've gone through the last 8 months of work, engagement with the community, surveys, work, you have it on your agenda night for approval, it became crystal clear to staff that cost recovery has become a very high priority for this event. It's been identified in that data, it was identified in your discussions. And so for us, it became we'll go out to the bid, and it's going to follow a traditional RFP process where there's one contract that's awarded, and it goes to whoever provides the best bid. In this case, it's the highest cost of revenue sharing that comes from the bid. And so we went about that way. We also made some other adjustments in the RFP solicitation. We didn't have, there was no language in there specifically talking about soft drink sales, for example, that had been in stuff in the past. Because we have different options available to us. One of those would be to continue to work with them, or like in the past, we've partnered with like the museum or other nonprofits out there that have sold bottled water or sold soft drinks or stuff like that for us, and it could have been a fundraising opportunity. And so we wanted to get the contractor on board and then see what options were available for us there. So soft drinks was not part of the solicitation. And so you have the bid recap in front of you there, as well as the actual RFP. The RFP went out. Oregon procurement law allows you to take either sealed bids or electronic submittals. We chose electronic submittals this year. We take those and we had them until the closing date, which was, I believe, July 1st. As they came in, they're printed out, they're put into a file, and once the bids close, then they are reviewed. Which is what we did this year. So we took the bids and we took what they proposed, and then we applied the benefits, the local business benefit, and created that way. And that's why you have your bid recap. Yes?
Who had access to this file?
They were submitted to the Parks Department. They were submitted to Marla and as our Parks Coordinator.
Okay, and these weren't saved, like were they put in like a filing cabinet? Were they sitting on someone's desk? Like how are these bids stored other than via digital copy? So you said you printed them out. Where are they stored?
So they're printed out and they're put in our Rock the Lock RFP 2025 folder. So they're stored into just our office. It's our locked office. And then when the date closed, we grab them, we score them, and but they're saved into a file folder.
How many days was it open for? Was it open for 3 days,
It was
5
open
days?
for about a month and a half, I believe. I'd have to go back and look at the dates it was open for,
Yeah,
but
the solicitation was, I think, 5 or 6 weeks.
yeah.
In what order were they submitted?
I'm sorry, what?
In what order were they submitted? Like who submitted first, second?
Oh,
third?
Old Nick submitted first, then the bridge, and then Oregon Beverages.
Is there any reason why we couldn't in the future go with the sealed bid process?
Yeah, we definitely can do that. And
Transparency
and we do that with a lot of our bids. We chose to do an electronic bid for this one, just really for the sake of convenience. But there's absolutely, the majority of our bids are usually done by sealed bid. We'll usually, but because they're usually large construction project bids. So business center bid came in, they turn them in at the front, it gets a received stamp. People usually initial over the seal, and then there's a bid opening, same sort of thing. So we did, rather than take them that way, this case we printed out, put in folder, and then we opened them all at the same time after the bid closed.
Was there anything in the RFP that mentioned anything about being like a winner take all type scenario this year?
It didn't say either way. It says that it has the award criteria in the RFP that it's going to be based upon the responses to the required criteria and for the cost sharing bid. So we went through the procurement process, and that's what you had. You had Old Nick's at 24%, and then you had Oregon Beverages at 30%, and you had the bridge also at 30%, but they have the local business priority, which was a 4% bonus. So the Old Nick's at the 24%, adding the 4% bonus would be at 28%. So so then we went through and sent out our notice of intent to award. And included the bid recap. It has, again, that information is for you there in your packet. In the letter to Old Nick's, we showed that their application did not include a copy of their OLCC license, which is a requirement for the bid document. But even if that were the case, even if we did have that on file, they would have been the lowest bidder. In this case, the lowest bidder is last place, not first place. And so even if we went to the top 2 bidders, it would have been awarded to the bridge and to Oregon Beverages instead out of Salem. And so either way, so we went through that with the idea that all this work that we've done through here, that cost recovery was our priority. So we went to the difference here of even a single percentage is more than $1,000 per percent. And so the difference between 30% and 24% is rather substantial on here, as we're looking to make sure that we hit our cost recovery, work towards higher cost recovery goals.
Dave, where in the RFP does it say that we must require? It just says licensing and permits must be in compliance with OLCC, but under the proposal submission requirements, it doesn't say the license is required to be published.
Let me pull it up.
It
It says submit proof of valid OLCC license permits. Page 65 of your packet, section
65?
4.3.
4.3?
Yeah.
I missed it. Thanks, Dave.
You bet.
Okay.
Sorry, and just to touch on that, we published the RFP from March 1st and it closed July 31st. Sorry, July 1st.
Thank you.
So from the staff perspective, we follow the criteria in our RFP. The document was drafted by our city attorney and open for a rather lengthy solicitation process in attempting to get it cast as, get as many bid responses as we could get. And of course, we can answer any questions that could come in during that time. We didn't receive any questions or any other information during that time until the bid window had closed and bids had been submitted. In the past, also to note, it was a less formal process. Obviously, year one, we talked about it was just Umatilla only. We picked up the phone. Part of the reason that we were allowed to do that is the total dollar amount associated with the gross sales. It wasn't going to cross over any type of threshold or anything like that in that first year. Plus, we wanted to make sure it was first businesses, our Umatilla only businesses. Excuse me. The second year, we anticipated higher amount, but we were anticipating the likelihood that more than 2 bars were likely going to be interested, and we wanted to keep that Umatilla preference if we could. But we did only receive the two. This year, we actually, like I said, we had it out. We had it for that period of time. And again, we did receive an extra bid this time from a non-Umatilla business. And you can see from their bid, this is kind of what they do. They do, geez, I think it was over 40 different festivals and things like that throughout most of it in Oregon. Anything else you wanted to add, Esmeralda? So that's what we have from staff. Very happy to answer any questions that you might have from us. And I also want to make sure to provide time to Mr. and Mrs. Baxter. If you can come up to the microphone so we can get on the recording for Zoom, John, thank you.
I know what you told me in your office, but I'd like to hear it again as far as why winner take all, one person, one bar.
Yeah, so that's I thought I answered the question, but I'm happy to answer it again. So again, looking at cost recovery for the event here as identified as a high priority, and we listed this for RFP for whoever has the highest funds. That's how the RFP process is going to work. So that's what we set up here. So it's just one contract because that's what got us to the higher level of cost recovery for the event.
I was wondering, wouldn't it be a lot less aggravating, less paperwork, less time, less effort if you just said what you wanted? Well, we want 35%, take it or leave it.
Yeah.
Would that accomplish the same thing without all the extra steps involved?
Maybe, but
Maybe.
no. So the reason why it's maybe, and there's kind of two things that play with that question. One, and I sort of answered your question with the question when we met. What if we receive 6 bids? We only have 2 bars. And so if everybody says 30% and 6 people give 30%, how do you determine who gets the award then? And so there's no way to differentiate between people that way that could possibly solicit for that. So we can't do it that way.
No,
But more than that though, under our procurement policies and what we have here for ORS on public procurement, when you go out to this formal solicitation, you go out this way. That's how that's going to work out, unless we specifically identify in the proposal that more than one contractor will be awarded. So they'll call those requirements contracts, or they call those sometimes a small works roster or something like that, where the bid itself has to say we will award more than one. Otherwise, it's understood on procurement law that you're only awarding it to one.
So it was a money thing as far as that.
It was
to maximize profit for the city.
That's correct.
Okay.
Dave, does it say anywhere in here that's going to be I know clearly it's a digital submittal, but does it say anywhere in the bid process where it's a digital submittal or they will not be sealed? Say in here, I was just flipping through it.
Yeah, we have it's let me go to the page. Page section 5 of the packet. It's page 66 of your packet. Proposal submission deadline. It says submissions must be emailed, mailed, or faxed to the point of contact for this RFP listed in section 2.
It doesn't say that they won't be sealed or they will be sealed, but correct.
No, it just says they need to be submitted.
Okay. Can we adjust that in the future? I know, can we make sure we specify that to the public so they understand more clearly that this is a non-sealed process or this is a sealed process?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, like I said, we've modified the process in which we've done this each year. Certainly, next year we'll follow our more traditional way of doing it, which will be a hard copy submitted to City Hall, post-mailed. It needs to be received, not just postmarked. That's usually as we have it in a sealed envelope. That way, there can be no question about that.
And I do want to comment to Mr. Baxter, and I really appreciate you coming up and giving your public comment and having your voice be heard. Yeah, feel free to take the microphone.
If it's a money thing, which bar brought in the most money after the other Rock the Locks? What bar was ahead in bringing in money? Who was ahead? Which bar? I would believe someone has the paperwork.
Yeah, so in 2024, we had the 2 bars, Old Nick's and the Bridge. Old Nick's had more sales in 2024 at Rock the Locks.
What about 2023?
We'd have to look at that. I don't recall for 2023. We'd have to look at that. I know after 2024.
I already know. It was Old Nick's. So, I mean, if it is a money thing, I mean, why can't we just keep this local? I mean, I get what you're saying, but you could accomplish the same thing by saying we want 35%, we want 40%, we want 50, whatever it is, without all the extra steps. And then that would be a way to accomplish it, and it would keep it local for local businesses. I mean, it was cool. It was just for local businesses. It gives us all a shot in the arm. I mean, the hotels, they're going to make money. The convenience stores, they're probably going to make money. Everyone else around here is going to make money. No one's going to come into Old Nick's when Rock the Locks is going. They're not going to come in and get food or beer or anything.
So let me kind of, so if the council, if your discussion was to say, we'd like to do two instead of one, I want to be clear what'll happen with that. So the Salem company would become our, it's still going to be our number two bar, if we're doing that.
So
It's not local.
E-
Salem isn't local.
So
Pendleton isn't local.
So again, we have procurement rules that we have to follow. So we have to go back out to bid again and say that this is for a Umatilla only process. We'd have to put whatever minimum requirement that would require, 10 to 14 days. I'm not sure what that would be. And we'd have to be clear in that criteria that says what it would be. We have the ability to reject all bids. If that's something that we want to do, we can do that. And we can go back out for a solicitation. That is something, that is an option that we can do.
Is that how landing day was handled? Did people have to bid that one, or was that just a straight percentage?
No, it's a bid.
It was
Landing
a
days
bid?
was a bid. And just also for the reference for council, this isn't the only contract that we do electronic submittals. So when we do our bond council solicitation, those were electronic emails that came through. Just off the top of my head, there's some other, we get solicitations and bid documents that come in electronic submittals frequently.
Thank you very much for your time, Dave. Appreciate it.
council, is there any further questions or comments at this time? Any further discussion? My primary concern is one that Mr. Baxter brought up previously about the bids not being sealed. If that information were to get out and someone read that it was, their bid was less than or more than someone else's, the information got back to another bidder, they could have adjusted their bid before submitting. And that raises some pretty serious concerns in my perspective.
Yeah, I definitely think that we need, as much transparency as we can possibly have. I mean, but like you were saying, if we were just going by the criteria that was set forth here, I mean, to be fair, the bid you guys put in was the lowest of the three. And I get your point with the local business too, though. I do understand that. And so it's just kind of one of those dilemmas, but if we're just, I do think we need to have like a little more, just for the situation like this, so this doesn't happen, we can have a little more transparency for next year, if nothing else.
I mean, was it publicly posted that it was going to be a single source? Like, were the bars notified that it would be a single source?
No, but they were not also notified that it would be two previously or one. It just said an alcohol vendor. So we didn't specify either one, either way.
Did our bid language say the same last year, that there wouldn't be multiple, there would just be a single source?
It was the same language from last year.
So then how would they know it would be a single, or narrowed down, I guess? If it's been two traditionally and we suddenly change it to one without telling anyone, how does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess it's again, it goes down to the information that's available in the RFP. The direction that we have been told that unless we specifically specify that we will be awarding to the top two bidders, it's to be understood that it's always to the top bidder.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
But in the past, have we said it's the top two bidders?
We definitely did in 23. I need to look at that for 2024. She's saying we didn't do that in 2024.
Okay.
We're going to pull that up just a moment.
Thank you. Esmeralda, while they're looking that up, I'm just curious too about, is this file location, like, is it in a locked cabinet? Is it sitting on someone's desk? Where is this located?
It is not in a locked cabinet. It is in a cabinet where my entire park and rec staff.
Can I have access to it?
access.
Okay.
Mayor, if I may, how hard would it be to actually go back and redo a sealed bid for this year, just to right across the board kind of make things a little more fair? How hard would it be to do something correct like that?
Sorry, may I? For this year, it would be really hard. Time is of the essence for us right now. And to go back out again for this year, if that's what Councilor McMillan is suggesting,
Correct.
would be very hard for us. And for next year, hypothetically speaking, if we're giving preference to local businesses, hypothetically speaking, if Russ's Place bids too, we have Old Nick's, Russ's Place, and the Bridge. How do we decipher if we have a minimum cost sharing? How do we decipher who gets the 2 or the 1? If our main goal is cost recovery, we go to the highest bidder.
Correct.
So it just makes it a little bit harder, and I'm open to suggestions from council on how to do it next year, but for sure this year, I don't have the capacity to go out again for this year. I mean, we can, but it just doesn't seem, in my opinion, fair.
Yeah, how long, I mean, we had it open from March until what date was the final closing date again?
July 1st.
So that's 4 months it was open for?
Yeah, we had suggestions from the lawyer last year and from local businesses that we didn't advertise long enough.
Okay.
So this year we made an adjustment. We advertised it for longer. We posted it on our website, Rock the Locks, on in the newspaper. We did as much as we could for advertising, since it was it suggested that we should advertise it for longer.
Thank you. And we do appreciate your hard work on all this.
All right, so go ahead.
I just had one extra question. Is it possible to do something like, in real estate where they have if a whole bunch of bids got put in on the house, they'll tell those people specifically, come back with your highest and best, and they give them, a few days or something like that. You have till like 2 days to come back with your highest and best offer, and then we'll make the decision. Is that something you can do in this type of situation? Go to those top 3 or those 3 and be like, okay, you have till the end of the week, like such date, give us your highest and best offer, and then go from there? Or is there something legality wise that you cannot do something like that? It has to be posted for a certain amount of time or something like that.
That would go against our purchasing process, right, Dave?
Yeah, that's not yeah, right. That's not in full compliance with our purchasing policy. I'm not an attorney. I'm not going to try to guess on the legality of it. All I can say is that we know our purchasing policy has been legal reviewed and complies with state statute there. If I can, taking a closer look, so the same number, so in your packet, page 65 at the top, number 3 under scope of services, it says the city intends to enter into a services agreement with the selected service provider or providers in addition to any items set forth on the agreement. The selected service provider or providers will be responsible for, and so on. Same language this year as it was last year. And so it could be a single provider or more than one provider. I would say that if I can, just candidly, if we went back out to bid and did a 7-day or 14-day, whatever our minimum requirement would be, we'd have to find that out. There's a couple things that would have to happen. We would need to get legal review again on the RFP, whatever we might modify on this to make sure that gets reviewed. That's not quick. And then it would be out for however long it's out, 7 to 14 days. But we'd have the legal question of whether that's getting into racketeering or bad faith bidding and that sort of issue out there. And unless we have a good reason to decline a bid based upon what we have, and that could be it's outside of our budget scope or something in the materials that don't comply with the state law, it'd be very difficult to do that. I think that all of the bidders submitted according to what we posted out there. We could award more than one with what we have based on this here today. But if we were to do that, it's still, just to be clear, it would still not go to Old Nick's. They are the last place bidder.
I think
Even with the local business preference.
total. I think my question is why didn't we just take away the S and say provider?
We can. We didn't do that, but we can do that into the future if that's what we'd like to do.
Esmeralda, go ahead.
Part of it, again, you got to look at some of this is a timing issue. We're adopting tonight your resolution for Rock the Locks for the next 3 years. We were still running through that process. This went out to bid on March 1st. We were definitely not anywhere near being done with that. And so this gave us that flexibility as we move forward. And like you said, Mayor, it's more historical what we've done the last couple of years. And so as we've now moved to this point, as we put out our notice of intent to award a couple weeks ago in July, we had the final results of that analysis, that public engagement, and what has been identified as priorities there for us. The question was asked, who made that call? I made that call, that cost recovery, looking at your goals of Rock the Locks, is a higher priority than it's been in the past. And so this follows that decision. If we want to do something different, you can award, I would say you have it in front of you, you can award 2 contracts today. It would go to, it would likely, staff's perspective would be that it would go to the bridge and would go to Oregon Beverage.
So Dave, I got a follow-up question. When did you make this decision to go with a single source for alcohol? Was it, do you have it in an email or you have a firm date where you said, this is my decision that I'm making today? Was that July 1st? Was that March? When did we know we were going a single source?
It's after we received bids, we reviewed bids, and as we're moving forward, it was after the council's decision on July 15th and directed us to go to bring back your resolution here tonight.
Right. So what you said, what date was that again?
That July 15th date?
Okay. So after the bids were submitted, we decided that we're going to go with a single source. That you decided that you're going to go with a single source.
Yeah, we had the option to pick 1 or 2.
We as the council have the option to go with 2 people.
But right. We as a
Right,
council.
that's what it's just kind of left open. I get what they're saying. I think personally, it's not gonna be popular.
Well,
But
my
I think we go
concern
by the
is-
bids, hold on, but we
Yeah.
go by the bids for what they are, right? And they fell in place and everyone had a fair bid, at least I think, but I do think we need a little more transparency and a little more for next year. That's my thought on this.
My concern is that we chose to make it a single source provider after the fact we received all the bids. And my concern is that after we received all the bids, that it went to a sitting council member. And Mr. Duffloff should not be punished for being a city council member, neither should his business. I'll be very
No.
clear. He's doing a great job and I appreciate him stepping off the dais and doing
But I
his
get the-
best. My concern is that we had the decision by our city manager to not tell anyone we're going with a single source, to select a single source, be it the second source bid would still be Oregon Beverage. Mr. Stockdale's correct. My concern is for transparency's sake, that looks really muddy.
I can see where you're coming from, but it's been a really big concern by some people in this community that the Rocks the Locks has lost a lot of money, and we're trying to recoup that money. And you can't deny that it's not been an issue for people.
Yeah,
And I understand where we're
and
coming
that's-
from. And we could choose 2 people on this event, right? As the council,
No.
we could still choose 2.
But
But it
no,
does
that's-
say specifically has the S in brackets.
as
there.
a council,
It could be either.
we didn't choose 1 or 2. Mr.
That's
Stockdale
what our
chose.
option is today.
No. We have a chance to say, no, we deny all bids and we go out and rebid.
But that's our option right now. We can choose as a city council today. We can say it's a sole person or sole company, or we can have it multiple people. Is that correct? I mean, we do have that authority.
Yeah, absolutely. The appeal's gone
Yeah.
through the council. You can absolutely, you can overrule any decision the city manager makes at any time you like, and that's not an issue at all whatsoever. Again, we've always had the option to either do 1 or 2. It was always shown that way. And in this case, unless there was a tie, that's when you could say, well, there's a tie and we have 2 bars, give it to 2. In this case, we did have a tie, 30% and 30%, but we had
One was
local
local.
business preference. And so that's what broke our tie. And so, and it was always put out there that we had the ability to make that decision, whether it's 1 or 2 that's there, or even more than 2, frankly, for that matter, I suppose, if you wanted to break that up. That S gives you the ability to break it up more. Yeah, so yeah, the decision is allowed. I'm allowed to make that decision that's there. You're allowed to overrule that decision. Not hurting my feelings either way. I feel that we've gone out to the we followed the RFP, we followed our procurement procedures. we've made our notice of intent to award based on what's there, based upon the the updated information we have through our recent public engagement processes. You know, this is perhaps the unintended consequence of money being a higher priority. This is what we talked about before with this event is money one of the most important things? It was identified as a high thing in this survey. You have to make your money back. This gets us closer to that goal. If we want to pivot from there, if we want to update that analysis, you want to update that work and say, well, actually, we really only means Umatilla businesses, not all businesses, and it doesn't mean the city. That's a different definition than what we've been talking about for the last several months. So that's different direction to
Yeah,
staff.
And I just wanted to say that I don't think it was really muddied. I think it was like, it was clear in there. It was one or two, one or more. It said both. So to me, it's like anybody reading that should know it could be one, it could be more.
Mhm.
So I don't think that was unclear. I think that was very clear. I don't know what it's going to be this year. It could be one, it could be both.
That's
So
fair.
that's why I really don't think we should go back out and do this all over again. I think that, I don't think there was anything muddied. I think this is following what it said. We're going to go with one. So
Okay.
I don't
I-
know. That's my opinion. And I just think that, they're already doing a lot of work. We've talked about saving money. This is one way we're saving money. And, that's my opinion. And if people want to outvote me, that is fine. But that's all I'm going to say. I don't think it was muddied. This is how it's been written since the very first one. So that's my
I
conclusion.
think Mr. Baxter had something to say.
If it truly is about maximizing profit, I mean, you've seen Rock the Locks say, someone said something like, what if Russ has wanted to get in on it? So what do we do in that case? Wouldn't, I don't know, 3 bars up there be able to move through a lot more cans than just 2? If we're talking about profit, we're talking about getting it in, getting them in, getting them out, getting them in, getting them out. There's a can for you, can for you, can for you. Oh, this line's too long. Oh, there's a line over there that ain't too long. Can for you, can for you, can for you, can for you. Seems pretty common sense. Wouldn't 3 bars maximize profit more to move through more product?
I don't know.
No, you don't. It's just an opinion.
I could touch on that, Mr. Baxter, just a little bit. We didn't see lines with both the bars. They were expediting people through their lines pretty quickly. But food vendors, the more food vendors we have, the less money they make individually. And there's not a big benefit for them to keep coming back. If there's 15 food vendors as opposed to 10 of them, with each of them having a different specialty of food. So this year we got feedback from our vendors. You know, they all gave us the same feedback. We reduced the number of food vendors from 15 to 10. Luckily, we had, 12 people interested, different kind of food they all have. But if there's 4 different bars and they all probably make $10,000, it's going to cost more in an overhead than the profit than they will be making there. So a little bit more competitive, in my opinion.
Bruce, you have anything to add?
I've just got it rolling around in my head right now. Let me,
Okay. Do you want a little more time to let it roll?
yeah,
Okay, I'll speak a little bit. I do want to commend staff for, thank you for following our RFP process to a T and making sure process is correct. And thank you, Mr. Stockdale and Esmeralda, for this process and doing your guys' best jobs on this. It is appreciated. I want to say thank you to Mr. Baxter and Mrs. Baxter for being here this evening and giving your case and having a good conversation about it and being respectful to the best of your ability. We do appreciate that. And we appreciate your guys' time and effort for being here and fighting to make Umatilla a better place and better community. And that does not go unheard. We appreciate it.
Yeah, and I would like to say that I do think we need, just like I said, the transparency factor, and I would like to keep it in the community, like sit to Umatilla business if possible. I mean, it would be nice if we could do that in the future. I mean, obviously, if we got no applicants, we'd have to go elsewhere, but.
Well, and Mr. Stockdale's decision to go with just one keeps more of the money in the community. Because if we went with 2, the second bid would be outside of Umatilla.
Mhm.
So the money would just fly away.
Mhm.
I think this is the best decision at this point. I think the process needs to be worked on for 2026, but I don't see a way of changing it.
Yeah.
It would be fair and equitable to all concerned.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
agree with Lyle on it.
Yeah, I think moving forward, I think we need to be either solely for Umatilla, only for alcohol vendors, if that's something that I think the council should be moving forward to. As much as Oregon Beverage did a great job in their bid, I think that we need to be focused towards Umatilla businesses and the Umatilla economy as a whole. And
I
I
would
think
like to.
it's a
Yeah,
big deal.
definitely.
I thought it was kind of cool though that they did.
Yeah, putting us on the map, right?
Oregon, that wherever that
Yeah.
group was, I'm like,
Mhm.
wow.
Bruce, that give by enough time?
Yeah, yeah, I mean, it's in, to that point, you already got me off track. Silver squirrels this evening at this stage of the game. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to get a vendor from somewhere else. It's not a happy evening having a local business owner in here, unhappy with process. I think we've done a good job of talking through where we are.
Yeah.
And already identified things we're going to change for next year in process, which is, a great big step forward. Beyond that, I think I'm at the same place everybody else is at this stage of the game. We'll do better down the road.
And I think we should also consider for next year, setting out a certain percentage that we want. If you want to agree to it, fine. If you don't, also fine. And I actually think we should go away from outside vendors for this for another few years. That we should incentivize our 3 local bars, none of which I frequent, and keep it away from outside people and just maximize 4 Rock the Locks recovery of funds. Just my thoughts.
Yeah, I think maybe that's potentially a motion. I mean, if we want to say, let's fix this for 2026 and actually stick to it, I think we need to codify that and we need to make a motion that actually says that we're going to fix this for 2026.
Well, I think we need to address the appeal first, don't we?
I think we can say that at this time, I mean, give me a motion, let's see do we need to actually address the appeal, Dave? Okay.
Yeah, I need council decision. Yeah, it's an appeal to you. It's not my decision anymore. It's yours.
Okay. Council, do you have any further questions about the appeal? And then if so, then I'll ask for a motion and then talk about fixing it for 2026.
I hate to be the guy, but Mr. Mayor, I make a motion, we deny the appeal and keep it as it is. And can I add in here with the caveat that we figure this thing out for next year?
We gotta give us some how are we gonna figure it out?
Well, by keeping it local and streamlined, somehow making it more clear, the process for being picked as the vendor.
Okay.
Or vendors, depending on.
So
If it's okay with council, if we can table the motion for a minute, I can have a comment or a question if that's okay.
we'll table your motion as it currently stands. Mr. Stockdale, go ahead.
Okay. So on the ability to be a Umatilla only business, in year 1, we definitely could do that because of dollar amounts and thresholds. I need a legal opinion as to how we go about doing that. Can we limit it to just city limits and so on? The reason why we have the bid the way we have it is because that's what our attorneys, we gave that after between 23 and 24. We said, we really want it to be highly in favor and if possible Umatilla businesses, and they came back with this proposal that says, well, you can have geographic preferences similar to some big construction contracts where Oregon businesses get preference over other businesses, like I said. In this case, this is sort of a microcosm of that where you can say Umatilla businesses get this, and so they created this percentage bonus as that. Now, I don't know the answer to the question of can you limit it to Umatilla only businesses? And then if we get into the situation, if we don't get any bids or we don't get enough bids, sort of what's the next criteria there? I don't have an answer to that, so I would
Can we make the multiplier so massive that it would be null and void if we're local or not? Or is that
I don't know the answer to that question. I don't know if that gets us into some sort of bad faith solicitation. I don't know. So I need legal information. I need legal input on
So
that.
can we say something along the lines of, the motion we're looking for is that we fix this for 2026 by referring to legal counsel for preferential treatment towards Umatilla resident or Umatilla businesses?
We definitely can do that. I need more clarification of preference for Umatilla business because I would argue that the bid already does that.
Okay. Increase preferential treatment to Umatilla businesses.
With the intent to localize.
Oh, and Bruce has got it.
Well,
If-
no,
if
I don't.
If I could,
I have it out for us here,
Okay.
though.
It-
Can we address the appeal and address that we are going to come back and address this as a body at a later
date.
date specific? I would like to have
Yes.
our missing
Yeah, that's probably
council
why.
member up here to address this issue and talk through it
Mm-hmm.
and come up with a more clear, fair guideline.
Yep. So,
I'll
Let's-
recall my motion then.
yep. Okay. And then Bruce, do you have a motion?
I would make a motion to not accept the appeal for RFP alcohol vendor Rock Blocks 2025 and to set a date in the future where the city council can address the issue of formatting future Rock the Lux alcohol service bids.
Ooh, nice.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Counselor Funderburk,
Aye.
Counselor Katie McMillan.
Aye.
Counselor Smith,
Aye.
Counselor Dennis McMillan,
Aye.
Counselor McLean.
Aye.
Okay. You guys have it. Thank you very much.
And if it's all right, council, my initial proposal for that then will be if I can bring that as a complementary item in the post-event report, I should be able to have a lot of information for you there. And that way you can consider it as part of the whole 360 report for the event. If you feel that's an appropriate time, that'll come to you. Typically, we bring you that in around the beginning of November.
Can we also look into something like if, for example, if we were to set the fixed percentage, something like, instead of awarding in the future, I'm just saying we can look into this. So you have like, say it is 30%, 35% in the future. And say we have, let's say all three bars want to go in here on that. Is there any way we can look into at least unifying drinks, pricing and everything like that? So each business gets a shot at it. Every business in the community gets a shot at it, but everything's unified. So it's kind of more synchronized where it's kind of open to more business.
Short answer, yes. Let me dive a little deeper. So the beverages that are provided by our sponsor, Columbia Distributing, those, regardless of which bar, those were always the same prices at either bar. So the differences in price had to do with the customized or specific drinks of that specific bar. And that was sort of my earlier point of some of those complaints on, I didn't know that we could pour. I thought we couldn't pour. And so there was confusion
Yeah.
as to why there was more options available.
That's what I'm saying. Like if we could just like, here's the list of things you guys can make. That's it. And
Yeah,
here's our prices.
we can come with quite a bit more information
Okay,
as
I was just
part of
curious
that
if we can
report.
look
We can
into
have
it,
that
though.
available.
I'd just like to see what our options are for this. Just
Sure. I just wanted to propose while we have you here, is during the post-event report an appropriate time, or did you want something at a different
that's
time?
fine. Appropriate time. It also gives a chance for you to interact with legal counsel.
Appreciate it.
where
Thank
we're
you.
at on this one.
Okay. And thanks again to city staff and Old Nick's for coming this evening and talking about this. I know this is a tough issue and we definitely appreciate everyone's commitment to working together and trying our best to make this a better place. Moving on now to 8.2, resolution number 04/2026, resolution approving the extension of Rock the Locks Music Festival through 2028 and affirming the annual review process to evaluate economic and community outcomes. So any questions about that from?
no.
Nope.
No,
Okay.
I would like to make a,
Well,
you're, I have,
Oh, okay.
I have a potential conflict on this, so I can have a discussion and vote, but yeah. I just wanted to go on record that I have a potential conflict for this.
Oh, I
Thank
may
you.
as well too. My son might work the event. I'm not sure.
That's
So I
right.
better say I have a potential
Okay,
conflict as well.
interest. Okay. Given that, is there any questions from council or staff? No further questions. We're looking for a motion.
I move that we approve resolution number 04-2026.
Thank you. Can we get a second to the motion, please?
I'll second the motion.
Thank you for your second. Can we get a roll call?
Counselor Funderburk,
Aye.
Counselor Duffloff,
Aye.
Counselor Katie McMillan,
Aye.
Counselor Smith,
Aye.
Counselor Dennis McMillan,
Aye.
Counselor McLean.
Aye.
Thank you very much. The ayes have it. Motion has been passed. Moving on to 8.3, resolution number 05/2026, a resolution of the Umatilla City Council calling a city measure election to submit to the electors of the city of Umatilla the question of contracting a general obligation bonded indebtedness in one or more series in aggregate principal, the amount non to exceed 19,800,000 to finance the cost of the capital construction and capital improvements, declaring intent to reimburse expenditures designated and authorized to representatives and delegating responsibilities and related matters.
Shouldn't that be not to exceed? It is in
To not of non.
Yeah, the agenda bill has the typo with non instead of not. The resolution has it with not.
That's my fault, sorry.
Oh my gosh. That's non to exceed. I mean, it works phonetically. Okay. Any further questions on this from council? I know we talked about this last week or last meeting we had. And Dave, this is with the addition of or Melissa, this is with the addition of the verbiage to get the buyback.
So
tax
this
buyback.
resolution does not have it, but the next item on your agenda does. They're just listed separately. This resolution is almost identical to the one that we saw for the May election, just substituting November. There have been some changes in Exhibit A just on the wording for the notice of receipt of ballot title.
You ready for motion?
I'm ready for motion. I was
All
gonna
right.
call a question.
I make a motion, we approve resolution number 05/026.
Thank you. Can we get a second to the motion?
0520.
05/2026.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Counselor Funderburk,
Aye.
Counselor Duffloff,
Aye.
Counselor Katie McMillan,
Aye.
Counselor Smith,
Aye.
Counselor Dennis McMillan,
Aye.
Counselor McLean.
Aye.
Okay, moving on to 8.4, resolution number 062026, a resolution of the Umatilla City Council authorizing a public safety center credit for residential accounts in connection with the approval of the general obligation bond to finance a new police station, designating an authorized representation and delegating responsibilities and related matters. I had a question about this. If someone's a business owner downtown, they don't get the credit?
Yeah, that's correct. So part of, like we said in our presentation before, we have programs in the city that are sometimes only available to certain members of the population. So we continue to show our downtown revitalization grant and our local business grant. Those are grants available to businesses and businesses only, not to residents. This is sort of the inverse of that. This is a program that's available to residential accounts only, but not to businesses. So it's, but yeah, so we've had legal review here in this case from the League of Oregon Cities that talks about we can create the program this way to a specific population within the population.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
I want to tell the city staff, way to think outside the box.
Yeah.
I did a bunch of research on this since then because it kind of cued in some stuff. This, as far as I know, the first time that a city has done this type of thing. There's other stuff. Am I right? But what I've read, this is very forward thinking in the fact that citizens are going to get a police station at net zero. And if there's nobody that, I mean, I think even the mayor would support that. Would you support that?
I won't put that on the record.
You won't? You won't support it?
I support building a police building using city funds.
Okay. Well, so you don't support net zero
I don't
to our
support.
citizens?
I don't support net zero because I don't think it should have. We already said no once. I don't think it should have gone back to begin with.
Well, I think we've chiseled the stone.
Oh, I
think that
agree.
we've sharpened the saw and we've seen a way to be zero net to the city and the citizens. You wouldn't want to give that back to your citizens?
I totally want to give back to citizens.
Did everybody hear that?
However-
The mayor on record said that he doesn't want to support this because it's going to cost the city. I don't understand that, sir.
And it unlocks that 34 million or whatever.
I
Yeah,
get
it
your
unlocked the
point.
34 million
I
from
just
the.
think the voters already said no once. That's my concern. But
Okay.
I see your
Well,
point. I
everybody
agree.
has a right to their opinion. And I just wanted to be on record that, wow.
So if I can address the question just real quickly, appreciate the dialogue. One of the things, this is truly unique, and our research is the same as what you found, Councilor Duffloff. The reason why it's different is you got to remember, to the best of our knowledge, there are only 3 enterprise zones in the state of Oregon that have this bonding contribution, or what the contract calls future bonding, in their enterprise zone agreements. So that's CREZ 2 next door, and CREZ 3, Greater Umatilla Enterprise Zone, and the Greater Hermiston Enterprise Zone. We are the only 3 that have something like this in our enterprise zone agreement. And so to be able to, again, that clause is, if the local vote electorate approves a bond, a general obligation bond, then they would pay as if they were not receiving any of the tax abatement benefits. And so this essentially, with a yes vote, would unlock that clause, so that, and we've estimated that at $33.8 million of funding that would come from our data center partners that would come through that clause being unlocked. And so where this is unique is now we have other funds that we could be available, that because it's such a nominal contribution from the residential households compared to the commercial and industrial taxpayer. So it's very unique because we're in a unique situation because we have a contract that most people don't have a benefit of having. So that's something that we negotiated really hard for, starting about 5 years ago, got it into our first contract in 2022 and had it in those agreements since.
Well, there was a lot of information as far as like what happened in Prineville and the Dalles with Facebook and some other people. So people understand the backstory with SIP agreements and with enterprise zones and stuff. So it's great that you guys were forward thinking, got us to a position where it's net zero to our citizens. That's great. Thank you.
I did want to point out the third recital that basically says, though, that the Public Safety Center credit will only be effective upon approval and issuance of the bond. So even though you pass the resolution tonight, in order for the credit to take effect, that it's
Yes.
tied to the.
Yep.
resolution.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hinged upon the bond passing.
But it's one of those things we need
100%.
the public to understand how this works, like
Yes.
desperately need to understand how this works. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm 100% against property taxes. Everyone knows that.
Oh, me too.
But if we get reimbursed
Yeah,
from the city. So.
correct. I'm all about that. That's fantastic that we have the avenue to do that. And again, it's a forward thinking. If you look online, there's a lot of stuff up.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, is there any other further discussion?
No.
Okay, this time we're looking for a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I would make a motion to approve resolution 06-2026.
Thank you, Mr. McLean. Can we get a second motion, please?
I'll second it.
Roll call.
Counselor Funderburk,
Aye.
Counselor Duffloff,
Aye.
Counselor Katie McMillan,
Aye.
Counselor Smith,
Aye.
Counselor Dennis McMillan,
Aye.
Counselor McLean.
Aye.
All right, thank you very much. Moving on to our 5th new business item, 8.5, the first reading by title only of ordinance number 879. Any questions about that?
No.
At this time, we're looking for a motion.
I move to have the first reading by title only of ordinance number 879.
Thank you. Can we get a second motion, please?
I'll second that.
Roll call.
Counselor Funderburk,
Aye.
Counselor Duffloff.
Aye.
Counselor Katie McMillan,
Aye.
Counselor Smith,
Aye.
Counselor Dennis McMillan,
Aye.
Counselor McLean.
Aye.
Ordinance number 879, an ordinance declaring that blighted areas exist in the city of Umatilla, establishing the need for an urban renewal agency in the city, and electing a method for exercising the power of an urban renewal agency within the city, creating Title II, Chapter 8 of the Umatilla Municipal Code.
Staff's available with any questions, to answer any questions you may have on this. We also have Elaine Howard has joined us again tonight via Zoom. If you had any additional questions you might have, or if you'd like, we're prepared to provide a very brief summary of this ordinance.
Me,
I don't have any questions.
Me either.
I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to, the discussions
Yep.
with
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
the
I-
alternate agencies and, you know, a robust discussion now that we're to the point that
Mhm.
we can have discussions.
Actually, I appreciate that very much. If I could make a quick comment on that too. So we got great feedback so far as comments of the need to engage and work with those taxing districts. So to that end, what we're proposing here is to get the agency, if council after the second reading makes that approval, to get the agency created before the end of the calendar year. But we are in no rush to get the corresponding plans adopted until we are in a good place with those taxing districts. So if those discussions prove very quickly and timely, and we're able to move that quick and get it done by the end of the year, great, we'll do that. But there's virtually no disadvantage in making sure that we take our time and not only being succinct, but to also at the same time be robust and engaged in those communications. So we have really between now and the end of next year, if we need to get those plans done and adopted. And so what staff is looking to do, our estimated goal and timeline with this would be to have those plans adopted close to March of next year. That falls in line with your annual budget review process. That'll buy us about 6 months or so to kind of continue to work through that process to get the move on those plans. And so we have between now, first reading, and that time then, but we obviously can't do anything with those plans as far as adoption goes until after we have an agency. And so right now we don't have an agency, and so I can't necessarily speak on behalf of those plans for those agencies. So right now it's just having those general discussions. So we'll bring this item back to you next month, and then it's effective 30 days after that.
Very
So I
good.
guess I do have a question. Are we going to retain Elaine as help navigating us through this?
Elaine, did you hear the question?
I did.
So go ahead, Elaine.
We have given a proposal to write plans and reports. I'll have to look back at that proposal. I know we had some coordination with taxing districts in it. I don't remember how much, and maybe David does. But I can be available as much as you need me to be.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions or comments from staff? Okay. Moving on to 8.6,
Thank you, Elaine.
first reading by title only of ordinance number 880. Any questions on this one?
No.
No.
This time we're looking for a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion, we move to approve the first reading by title only of ordinance number 880.
Thank you. Your motion. Give a second to the motion,
Second.
please. Thank you, Mr. Smith. Roll call.
Counselor Funderburk.
Aye.
Counselor Duffloff.
Aye.
Counselor Katie McMillan. Counselor Katie McMillan.
Aye.
Counselor Smith.
Aye.
Counselor Dennis McMillan.
Aye.
Counselor McLean.
Aye.
Ordinance number 880, an ordinance amending Title 3, Chapter 6 of the Umatilla Municipal Code to update the social gambling code to set bet or wager limits on any social gambling games to be established by resolution.
And again, I'll just do a very brief summary of what we are looking to achieve here. Again, I wanted to thank Mr. Lindstrom, who's also here and available, who's sort of led the way in public comment with this, and we've been in frequent communication with him over the last year or so. The idea here with what will happen with this ordinance, if it goes through your second and the 30 days after that, would be that it shifts the social gambling from the facility to a licensee. And then that licensee then negotiates with any of the facilities that are there. And then we'll bring that negotiated terms back to the council for approval by resolution for those. That creates a lot of flexibility and a lot of relationship-based negotiation for here in town. So the idea there would be that one licensee and one business owner might be totally fine with how they operate, their clientele, their history, and that sort of thing, and have bet limits of $200, $300, $400. Whereas the same business owner may not be as comfortable with a different licensee because they have a history or a relationship or something there with them on that, and says this, my business, I don't need that clientele type or whatever it would be here. So it allows the flexibility for the licensee to be able to build on positive relationships with the businesses here in town and to bring those forward to council for final approval.
Awesome.
It's been a long time coming,
Yeah.
so.
Yep.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Thanks for being persistent.
Yeah. Okay, at this time, we're moving on now to our second public comment of the evening. Thank you very much. This time we have Kip Barron.
Something must be
Did
bubbling
something-
again.
Something bubble up again?
Yeah, something bubbled up.
Okay,
Just in case,
just in case.
that's Kip Barron, 457 Stevens Avenue. Yes, 45 Stevens Avenue. It's not within the city, so I don't pay any city taxes or any of those things. I just pay double water, double sewer for having the privilege of being in the county, just outside the city limits. But I'm good with that. Now, what I was, good job, by the way, working through that tough decision about that thing with Rock the Locks and that appeal. Well, excellent job. Excellent job. Public trust, I think, was stirred a little bit with that. But my one comment was, I guess I'm just going to have to look up what blighted areas are. I guess there may be rundown, not used buildings or things like that. And that's good that, we're looking to have some type of agency. I never do like the word agency because that seems like it means more government intervention. I don't like that. I like that. But if it's going to be for the betterment of, making the city look good, well, then I'll keep following what's going on. One extra comment I thought was rather humorous was the authorizing of a public center, safety center credit. I'm a precinct committee person. I have been for years, and so I do a lot of voter registration, voter education, and talk to people about issues. And in a humorous way, I know nobody's doing anything illegal, but I read that and I chuckled and I thought, well, sounds like buying a vote to me since it was connected to the police station. But obviously I know that that's not going on, but it was kind of humorous to chuckle about. But I don't buy the, no pun intended, the net zero thing either. I'm all about, it went to the ballot box, people voted, they said no, that means no. I get it that there's extra funds and that's millions of dollars. I mean, city could do lots with that. But I just don't buy the net zero thing. I like to see when people vote and it is said, if they say no, then it is, come back around and do something different. Yes, do we need a police station? Yes, but maybe it's just not yet here for this go around. That's one extra credit comment. Congratulations, Zach. Let's go, Brandon. Whoa.
Yeah. Thank you much, Mr. Barron, for your public comments this evening. Is there any more discussion items? Dave, we got nothing for us? Okay, this time we're gonna do the mayor's message real fast. I just want to say thank you to everyone who attended tonight. I want to say thanks again to all the people who submitted bids for the alcohol thing. I know getting 3 is not enough. We're gonna work on that. I know that Esmeralda is doing her best over there. We really appreciate all the work the Parks and Recs department's doing on this, and want to say thank you again to Zach for joining our team, and looking forward to working with you and looking to see you do some great work here. And want to say thanks to Paulette and Darren for winning the bid, and congratulations on doing that. And that's phenomenal stuff. I'm excited to support a local business as much as we can. And once again, thanks everyone for being here this evening. And other than that, that's all I've got. So we're going to go start us down. We'll go in reverse order today. So we're going to start with Mr. McLean.
Well, twice in a row.
I don't know.
Yeah, you've lost your number one spot down there.
You're still number one.
And I'm gonna steal something you were gonna use right off the bat. What a great national night out. Great to see everybody. Thank you, Chief, for being down there and having everybody and, and everybody down there. Great to see the town out and doing things like that. It's fun to get out and talk with people. Hope everybody makes it to Umatilla County Fair. That's this week, and we've crept into August. So, everybody have fun with your last of the summer vacations, because school is around the corner.
I don't go to school anymore.
Yeah.
Are you done? Okay. Yeah, I appreciate all you guys' hard work. I do. I really do. And I hate to seem like a wrecking ball when we have, issues like we had tonight. I'm not trying to, I just want to be fair to the public. I just want to try to be the liaison between, city government and the public, and I'm not the greatest at it, but I like to try my best anyway. And I'm learning the ropes and everything still, but anyway, I do appreciate all you guys' hard work, because there's a lot that goes into that. I have no clue on it, a lot. And my unschooled self wouldn't even understand all of it. Anyway, I appreciate everyone being here, and it's too bad those folks left. I do appreciate them bringing this up to, the council, and I just want to be as fair and open as we can possibly be as a community and help us grow as a community. And that's, I guess, all we can ask for. Anyway, thank you. You're up.
Mr. Smith.
I don't have a lot to say, but I think we did a very good job on a very hot button issue, that we truly considered it and came up with the best we could. And I think that's all the citizens can expect out of us. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Mr. DeFlaw.
You want to do Katie first?
Oh, yeah. Thanks.
Thank you, sorry.
Ms. McMillan.
Thanks for skipping me. I appreciate it.
I'm sorry. You want to sit next to me.
I'm just kidding. I'm gonna make it short and sweet. I have one that you're gonna have a little competition with. I have a little cranky one here, but I appreciate everybody coming out, and thanks for getting the audio fixed so quickly too, Nancy. I appreciate it. Without you, I don't know where any of us would be as far as audio or any of this stuff, because you're a rock star. So we appreciate you. But thank you guys for coming out, and sorry I missed the night out and stuff. Like I said, I have a little one that's been a little cranky. So, but I appreciate you guys, and we will all have a good night.
Okay. Now, Councilmember DeFlaw.
First of all, thank you again. And National Night Out was freaking great. And I really hope that we can really think about future. Having it over there at Nugent Park was fantastic. Spread out. It wasn't next to 6th Street, cars going or 730. It was nice. It was very well put together. Thank you very much. Waterpalooza, the movies and stuff I see so much engagement with our Parks and Recs and you guys being out there. I just want to applaud you guys. That's fantastic. So again, I want to give you guys a plug. The social media posts that we're doing is fantastic. I remember a year or two ago, people complaining because we weren't connected online. I've never seen so much social media coming out of Umatilla ever. So people that are complaining about it can just go back under a rock. Chief, thank you. Keeping us safe. I know we had some issues that we're working through, and I appreciate that my family feels safe every night, and it's because of your guys' hard work. So thank you very much. The other part, as I was sitting down there and my watch was going off telling me that my heart rate was about 140, the biggest thing for me is when I get my integrity attacked. I did not sign up for that. My family did not sign up for that. And for anybody to infer anything that would be inappropriate from anybody of this staff or anybody from my staff or my family is complete crap. 100%, and I hope this is recorded and I hope everybody hears it. Because if you challenge my integrity, that's complete without evidence, that's complete crap. I do this for free. I've been a long-standing member in this community for many, many years, and having people come up here and challenge that is completely wrong. The crap that's going around right now is completely unacceptable. And there's no other way to say it. Everybody talks about unity, but they won't have a conversation. Everybody wants to run and complain to everybody else and file lawsuits and do all that stuff instead of having a conversation. Come on. We're better than that. We've been better than that. I've lived in this community for 30 years. I've never seen it like this, ever. I'll guarantee I can line up anybody in here. I have donated more of my time than all of you people together to give back to this community. And yet you challenge me on everything I do. And first it was because of the business that we owned. Now it's because I'm a counselor and I get challenged. My integrity, I have done nothing. I hold the highest regard for my job. I have to sign an affidavit every year about my code of conduct. Do you guys have to do that? No, I do. And I do it because I have moral fortitude, right? I'm a person of God. I love my people. I love my community. I would never do anything to distress that at all. It's unfair. Stop. Mr. Mayor, I do not appreciate you attacking me. I find that completely unprofessional. And also, in your rules, I would challenge you by directing staff. You're directing staff to do things that's inappropriate. Listen back, because you continually do that. That is not your role. I would challenge you to look at our charter, look at your description, your job description, and stop continuing to do that. I would challenge you to look at that, sir. Thank you. I have nothing else.
Thank you. Ms. Funderburk.
I second that, by the way.
I, yeah, I know. It's really good.
It's tough going last, isn't it?
Yeah, it is now. Made me want to cry. Okay. Welcome, Zach. We're glad you're here. And National Night Out was great. Thank you so much for all that. Good food, everything wonderful. Excited about the pedestrian bridge being complete. Finally, after all these years. So much great things are happening in our town, and I hope that we can just move on. And I don't know, it's become very stressful being on city council. I love this town so much. That's why I've stayed here all these years. I just wish people would treat each other with respect, would talk to each other. Wow. I just wish we could, I don't know, just realize the city can do so many great things and want to move with it. And if you don't want to move with our city onto great things, then maybe you need to be in a different city. I don't know. But our city, where it was and where it is going, we're just on to such great things. So I hope that we can all join together and work together. And if there are people that are against it, I just want you to know that I'm listening to the majority of people. Those are the people that I am listening to, the majority who want the great things. And yes, there's a lot of people that are very vocal, but I'm letting everybody know now, I refuse to listen to the few. I'm just not going to do that because I want our city to be great. So I thank you, all the people that work for the city, and that you continue to work for us and all that you've done for us. So that is pretty much, I believe, all I have to say, but thank you.
Okay, thank you. At this time, we're moving on to 14.1 executive session under ORS 1926602D to conduct deliberations with the persons designated by a governing body to carry out labor negotiations. Can we get a motion to go into executive session?
Mr. Mayor, I would make a motion to recess to executive session.
Thank you for your motion. Can we get a second motion, please?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Can we get a roll call?
Counselor Funderburk,
Yes.
Counselor Duffloff,
Oh.
Counselor Katie McMillan,
Aye.
Okay.
Counselor Smith,
Aye.
Counselor Dennis McMillan,
Aye.
Counselor McLean.
Aye.
Yeah, I do too.
What?
I just now.